Imagine standing on the edge of a precipice where the clouds drift beneath your feet, and the only thing between you and a 1,000-foot drop is a thin sheet of glass or a creaking wooden plank. You might think you're brave, sitting safely behind your screen right now. You might believe that height is just a number, and fear is just an emotion you can control. But let me tell you a secret. 99% of people who travel thousands of miles to these locations, with hearts full of courage, end up paralyzed by terror the moment they look down. They freeze, they cry, and most of them turn back before taking a single step. Today, we are not just looking at beautiful scenery, we are entering the ultimate testing grounds of human survival instinct. From the swaying, misty heights of Canada to the death-defying planks of Mount Huashan. We are about to count down 10 places that will make your pulse race just by watching. Are you part of the elite 1% who would dare to cross, or will you be among the majority who surrender to the abyss? Before we begin this heart-pounding journey, please leave a comment letting us know where in the world you are watching this video from, and what time it is on your clock right now. We are truly curious to see how many countries this video has reached. Now, take a deep breath, hold on tight, and let's step into the void. We begin our journey in the lush emerald forests of British Columbia, Canada. At first glance, the Capilano Suspension Bridge looks like something out of a fairy tale, a majestic pathway stretched across a deep canyon, surrounded by ancient giant trees. But don't let the beauty fool you. Stretching 137 meters long and hanging 70 meters above the rushing Capilano River, this bridge is a living, breathing entity. As soon as you take your third step, you feel the swaying. It starts as a gentle rock, but as more people step onto the narrow walkway, the bridge begins to bounce and tilt. The air grows thin, and the sound of the water below becomes a distant roar. For many, the visual of the forest floor so far beneath their feet is too much to handle. We've seen grown men gripping the wire cables until their knuckles turn white, and others who simply collapse to their knees, unable to move forward or backward. It's a psychological battle against gravity. Most tourists come here for a photo, but many leave with a newfound respect for the abyss. It's the perfect warm-up for what's coming next. But for some, this is already where the journey ends. Leaving the swaying forests behind, we head to the heart of Chicago to face a different kind of terror, one made of steel and glass. Welcome to the ledge at Willis Tower. You are standing on the 103rd floor, more than 400 meters above the city streets. Here, the challenge isn't a shaking bridge, but a transparent glass box that thrusts you 4 feet out into thin air. As you approach the edge, your brain tells you it's safe, but your eyes see nothing but the miniature cars and tiny pedestrians far below. The moment your foot touches that glass floor, your heart skips a beat. You are literally walking on air. The wind howls against the skyscraper, and for a split second, you feel as though the glass might just vanish. There have been terrifying reports of the protective coating on the glass cracking under visitors' feet. And while the structure remains safe, the psychological impact is devastating. Many visitors freeze at the threshold, staring at their own shoes suspended over a 1,300-foot drop, unable to take that final leap of faith. It's a place where your confidence evaporates into the Chicago skyline, proving that sometimes seeing clearly is the scariest thing of all. From the heights of a skyscraper, we travel to the Dolní Morava region in the Czech Republic to face a world record breaker, Skybridge 721. As the name suggests, this narrow steel path stretches for a staggering 721 meters, making it the longest suspension footbridge on the planet. But it's not just the length that breaks people, it's the isolation. Suspended 95 meters above a deep mountain valley, the bridge is only 1.2 meters wide. As you walk, the solid ground behind you disappears into the mist, and the destination ahead seems like a distant, unreachable dream. There is no turning back here. The bridge is one way, meaning once you start, the only way out is to finish. When the mountain winds pick up, the entire structure begins to hum and vibrate. reminding you that you are hanging by mere cables over a massive abyss. We have seen travelers stop midway, clutching the handrails with eyes closed, paralyzed by the realization that they are nearly half a mile away from safety. It's a test of endurance and mental fortitude that separates the dreamers from the true adventurers. Are you ready to take a walk that feels like it will never end? Leaving the man-made structures behind, we arrive at the edge of the world, the cliffs of Moher in Ireland. This is nature in its most raw and unforgiving form. Rising 214 meters straight out of the churning Atlantic Ocean. These ancient limestone cliffs are as beautiful as they are deadly. Unlike our previous stops, there are sections here with no fences, no glass, and no safety nets. The wind here is legendary unpredictable gusts that can sweep a person off their feet in an instant. You see a narrow, worn-out path right at the very edge, often slick with rain and mud. This is where the 99% truly shows itself. Many tourists arrive with grand plans of sitting on the edge for a perfect photo. But the moment they feel that salt spray and the sheer force of the wind pushing them toward the void, their legs turn to jelly. The ground beneath you is crumbling slowly, year by year, into the sea. It's a place of haunting beauty where one wrong step, or even a sudden change in wind direction, means a point of no return. It's not just the height that terrifies you, it's the realization that here, Mother Nature holds all the cards, and she doesn't care about your bravery. Would you dare to walk the edge where the earth simply ends? We now ascend to the frozen peaks of the French Alps, to a place where the air is thin and the temperature drops far below freezing. Welcome to Aiguille du Midi, the gateway to Mont Blanc. Here, at an altitude of 3,842 meters, sits a glass box known as Step into the Void. This is not for the faint of heart. To even reach this point, you must endure a steep cable car ride that leaves your ears popping and your head spinning. Once you arrive, you are asked to put on special soft slippers to protect the glass floor. As you step out, the world beneath you simply disappears. You are standing on a floor just 12 millimeters thick, with nothing but 1,000 meters of pure empty space between your feet and the jagged rocks of the Bossons Glacier below. The silence up here is deafening, broken only by the whistling wind. Many people reach the door of the box and find their muscles refuse to move. Their eyes are locked on the sheer vertical drop, and the primal instinct to survive overpowers every bit of logic. It is a moment of total vulnerability. You aren't just looking at the mountains anymore. You are suspended in their icy grip, staring into a 1,000-meter abyss that whispers for you to look away. We return to the rugged wilderness of Canada, but this time there are no easy paths or tourist crowds. Welcome to the Mount Nimbus Skywalk, a hidden challenge deep within the Purcell Mountains. This isn't just a walk, it's an alpine odyssey. To even get here, you have to fly in by helicopter and then climb a series of vertical iron rungs known as a via ferrata. But the true test of nerves is the tightrope bridge suspended between two jagged mountain spires. Imagine being hundreds of meters in the air, with the wind whipping around you and the clouds drifting through your legs. Each step on the narrow steel cables causes the entire bridge to hum, a metallic song of danger. There are no walls here, only your harness and your willpower. For many, this is where the 99% rule strikes hardest. It's one thing to look at a height from behind a glass window, but it's another thing entirely to be physically clinging to the side of a mountain, feeling the cold rock against your palms. The silence is absolute, and the sense of isolation is overwhelming. You are a tiny speck in a vast, indifferent landscape. Most people who see photos of this place say never, and those who actually make it to the base often find their courage vanishing into the mountain mist. We now journey to the breathtaking landscapes of Norway, to a place that looks like a giant S-tongue frozen in stone. Welcome to Trolltunga, or the Troll S-tongue. But getting to this legendary rock is a test in itself. You must endure a grueling 27-kilometer hike through steep, rocky terrain that can take up to 12 hours. By the time you reach the summit, Your body is exhausted, and your legs are shaking. And then you see it, a thin sliver of rock jutting out horizontally, hovering 700 meters above the stunning blue waters of Lake Ringdalsvatnet. There are no guardrails here, no safety nets. Just you, the cold Nordic air, and a sheer drop into the abyss. This is where the 99% truly face their limit. Many people hike for hours only to reach the base of the rock and find themselves unable to walk out onto it. They watch others pose for that iconic photo, but their minds are filled with images of a single slip, a sudden gust of wind, or the rock simply snapping. It is a place of immense beauty, but also of profound terror. Sitting on the edge of the troll's tongue is more than just a photo op. It's a moment where you look death in the face and realize just how small you really are. Next, we travel to the heart of the Avatar Mountains in China to face a structure that seems to defy the laws of physics. Welcome to the Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge. Stretching 430 meters across a canyon and hanging 300 meters above the valley floor. This was once the world's longest and highest glass-bottomed bridge. But numbers don't tell the whole story. The floor is made of 99 panes of triple-layered transparent glass, designed to give you the sensation of walking on air. To prove its strength, officials once drove a 2-ton SUV across it and even encouraged people to strike the glass with sledgehammers. But despite the science, your brain refuses to believe you are safe. As you look down between your feet, the jagged rocks and lush forests below look so close, yet so terrifyingly far. This is the place where 99% of people surrender becomes a reality you can see. It is common to see tourists crawling on all fours, eyes shut tight, or clinging to the side rails for dear life, while their friends try to pull them across. The sheer transparency of the bridge creates a psychological vertigo that is impossible to ignore. Every crack you think you hear, every vibration from other visitors, sends a jolt of adrenaline through your system. It is a massive, transparent test of faith in engineering versus the primal scream of your survival instinct. From the high-tech glass of China, we travel to the scorching canyons of Malaga, Spain, to walk a path that for decades was known as the most dangerous in the world. Welcome to El Caminito del Rey, or the King's Little Path. Originally built over a century ago for hydroelectric workers, this narrow walkway clings to the sheer limestone walls of the Gataines Gorge, hundreds of meters above the churning river below. For years, it fell into a state of terrifying decay, gaping holes in the concrete, rusted supports, and sections that had completely crumbled away, leaving only a thin steel beam to balance on. After several tragic accidents, it was closed and then completely rebuilt with modern safety standards. But don't let the new wood and sturdy bolts relax you. The path is still only 1 meter wide, and as you look down through the gaps in the floorboards, you can still see the skeletal remains of the original, crumbling path, just a few feet below you, a haunting reminder of its deadly past. The wind howls through the narrow gorge, and the verticality of the cliffs is so extreme that it creates a crushing sense of vertigo. This is where 99% of people feel their heart skip a beat. It's a place where you aren't just walking a trail, you are dancing with the ghost of a legend that once claimed lives. We have reached the end of our journey, and we have saved the most terrifying for last. Deep in the Shanxi province of China lies Mount Huashan, one of the 5 sacred mountains. But for thrill seekers, it is home to the most dangerous hike on the planet, the Huashan Plank Walk. Forget about glass floors, steel cables, or safety nets. Here, you are standing on narrow wooden planks, barely 30 centimeters wide, bolted directly into the side of a vertical stone cliff thousands of feet in the air. There are no handrails, only a rusted iron chain attached to the rock for you to cling to. To pass others on this narrow path, you must unclip your safety harness and lean out over the abyss, staring directly down into a 2,000-meter drop. The wind here doesn't just blow. It screams. The wooden planks beneath your feet are worn by time and weather, creaking with every agonizing step. This is the ultimate 99% filter. We have seen people freeze for hours. Unable to move a single muscle, their faces pale with a terror that words cannot describe. It is a place where your life is literally held by your own two hands and a thin piece of metal. This isn't just a tourist attraction. It is a spiritual and physical confrontation with death itself. If you can make it across these planks, you are no longer part of the majority. You are the 1% who looked into the mouth of the dragon and didn't blink. Our journey through the world's most terrifying heights ends here. But the question remains, why do we seek these places? Why do we voluntarily stand on the edge of an abyss that makes our hearts stop? Perhaps it's because only at the edge of death do we truly feel alive. We've seen the 99%, those who turned back, those whose legs gave out, and those who realized that some fears are simply too great to conquer. And there is no shame in that. Understanding your limits is its own kind of bravery. But for the 1% who took that final step, they didn't just see a view. They discovered a version of themselves that is stronger than their instincts. The world is full of edges, both physical and mental. Some are meant to be respected, and others are meant to be crossed. So, as you look at your own life, ask yourself, are you standing safely in the crowd? Or are you ready to step out onto the planks? The abyss is waiting, not to take you, but to show you who you really are. Thank you for walking this narrow path with us today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and never be afraid to look down. Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Do not attempt to recreate any of the activities shown without professional training and proper safety equipment. Fair use source notice. This video utilizes open source footage and Creative Commons materials. We use these assets under the fair use doctrine of YouTube's copyright guidelines for the purposes of education, commentary, and transformative storytelling. All rights belong to their respective owners.